EvE Online is a vast universe, alive with the unrelenting activity and combined history of its players. Pursuing lives of adventure, warfare, and prosperity, they share this existence in the biggest single shard, free-to-play MMO of all time. Set 21,000 years in the future, EvE takes place in a distant cluster of over 7,000 star systems known as New Eden. It is a rich and diverse universe featuring densely populated havens of relative safety governed by 4 great empires. Hostile systems where player alliances make the rules. Even regions of anomalous and unexplored space that hold their own secrets. You play as a capsuleer, a revered breed of highly trained pilot, having achieved immortality through the use of cloning technology. You navigate the universe encased in an armored capsule deep within your ship, where you have complete neural control and function as one. There are hundreds of ships to fly in EvE. Everything from small, nimble craft and versatile mid-range vessels to formidable warships and colossal freighters. Each has advantages and suited roles, but all are completely customizable as you decide how to equip and arm them. What you do in New Eden is entirely up to you. EvE's immense sandbox gives you the opportunity to choose between multiple professions and activities. The key to this unique customization of your playstyle is skill training. This is a passive process, and it continues whether you are in or out of game. As a new player, you can focus on one specific area in order to quickly reach the same level of specialization as a veteran. So be adventurous and explore new avenues of development for your character, as you can always change role and reinvent yourself if desired. If you want to fight, combat in EvE can involve solo missions against non-player adversaries, or small group skirmishes, while for some, it can even be the thrill of fleeting up with thousands of fellow pilots and battling over disputed territory. If you want to explore, then the discovery of uncharted space and ancient regions that promise riches, danger, and adventure await you. You can also engage in the business of prosperity, be it industry, mining, or even interstellar piracy. The beauty of life in New Eden is that all of these activities, and many more, can be done alone or with others. A unique in-game market, unprecedented in scale and degree of player control, is the beating heart of New Eden. Players are responsible for the manufacture of almost everything you can buy or sell. The gathering and refinement of resources, the building of ships, equipment, and even some space stations. EvE's players are core to how the universe is filled and how the economy thrives. Players in EvE can band together to form corporations where they can enrich their experience, learn new elements of gameplay, and share their wealth and goals. When these player-run corporations grow to become larger entities, they can merge with other corps to form alliances. Powerful alliances regularly compete for control and influence over large areas of space, waging wars and engaging in record-breaking battles. Even taking down well-defended, sprawling, player-built space stations. In the spirit of exploration and mystery, new content and experiences are constantly introduced into the universe, with over a decade of free expansions leading to continual development and evolution of gameplay. While every action and decision has consequences for the universe and its hundreds of thousands of players, the game remains very much about your unique adventure and story. A story that will forever be woven into the fabric of EvE. The birth of the Capsuleer. A sacred act, immutable and profound. Mind and machine merged. Flesh fused with power beyond mortal limits. United with destiny, a ship and its heart. They are one. Oasis of life in an uncharted void. A galaxy where power and wealth spur humankind. Where four great empires seed the fractured renaissance of man. Wielding vast fleets, they carve their ideologies into the stars. The heroism and treachery of Capsuleers is woven into the fabric of New Eden. A story of industry, exploration, and conquest. However you choose to forge your destiny, do so with heart. New Eden is yours to shape. This is where your legend begins.
Hey, welcome back to another EVE Online video. In this video, we will see how to start playing EVE Online. Okay. The moment after you watch finish and login intro cinematic, you'll be greeted with this screen where you are forced to pick between 4 empires: Team Red, Yellow, Green, and Blue, Mimeta, Amarian, Galente, Caldari. A tribal federation, an empire, a democratic society, and a militaristic capitalist world. So first thing first, we look at the Mimetas. They have these kind of ships which are very dystopian junkyard based. They use these kind of ships. They are mainly made with, as EVE players joke, duct tape and steel. Next are the Amarians, whose ships are literally covered in gold, making them literally one of the richest people in EVE. Wow, too bad they aren't you know, good. They are slow, they use armor. Their guns only do 2000 damage. But yeah, you can take a look, the aesthetics nice. But yeah, their guns only do 2000 damage. They are slow, they use armor, whereas the Minotaurs are fast, and of course, not all is harmonious in EvE really. The Amarians actually hit Team Red, the Minotaurs. And criminal, they also hit their own brand of criminals, the Blood Raiders, who similarly does use Amar ships, but it's covered in blood. Meanwhile, the Minotaurs hate the Amarians right back, and they also have their own criminal organization that they hate, the Angel Cartel. They use mainly shield tank ships. Actually, it's a mixed tank. They use both shields and armor, as well as the most basic weaponry of all time, guns. Who doesn't love guns? Next we have the Galante. Their ships are very organic looking. They are a democratic society, and they use mainly drones and hybrid blasters. Think Star Wars and the such. So they are very short range ships with heavy DPS. They hate the Caldarians because Caldarians are the opposite of Galantes. And they also have a criminal organization known as the Serpentist, a splinter group of some corporation. Next we have the Caldarians. They hate the Galante. They also have a criminal group known as the Garistas. And this is their ships, very utilitarian looking. I know, it's not the best. They mainly use rockets, they have shield, and they are mainly shield tankers, while the Galante are also armor tankers, which makes their ship big, slow, and heavy. Their Caldarian ships are mainly faster, they use railguns and missiles, which gives you all the damage types in this game, which makes them one of the best to start with, compared to the Amarians. Also, an in-game event has nerfed their starting position for Amarians. Never choose them. In my opinion, it's either you choose Caldari or Mimitar. Never choose Amarians. It's either Mimitar, because guns also can do all 4 types of damage, or missiles also does all 4 types of damage. Which means the best 2 is either Mimitar or Caldarian. So when you click enlist, you get an option to pick between 3 heritages. There are 6 options really, because you can either be male or female. So you get 3 heritages, 2 genders. You pick, this only affects your appearance and nothing more. Then next you want to go into selecting a character. I would select Mimitar because I love guns. So don't choose Amar no matter how tempting it might be. Only choose this. These people? Oh. Why is it taking so long? Alright, I have no idea what was my script. Yeah, only these 2. So that's randomly picked, enlist and character creation. Well, yeah, I time-lapsed it. Go watch my time-lapse. It doesn't take long. Does make your character look nice. It doesn't matter, nobody will see this. But you can train skills into your character. And so we'll be done in just in a snap of our fingers. After that, after character creation and uglifying your character, I don't know why would you do this really. We click next. We are get shown this. You pick your school. This does only affect your spawn position because there's 3 different heritages, so tied to 3 different schools: militaristic, trade, and industry. And you choose your name, and then you click next, and it'll put you right into the game. Oh, and you can't change your background or anything apparently. And you could do it last time, but no. So after that, pick your name. I pick something very similar to my own name. I used to play this before, and we start our little venture. And we click next. Then it will immediately launch you into the tutorial. So yeah. So randomly pick your school because, like I say, all schools are the same. They will go through all aspects of EVE thoroughly. Now we begin in a tiny Corvette with no UI and partially zoomed in and seeing everybody else also more or less starts on the same position. And
Captain,
with Aura,
wake up.
your ship's AI and your guiding partner to New Eden.
It's me,
at least
Aura,
for now.
your AI companion. I must insist you wake up right this instant.
How am I going to do this?
If you do not wake up, my protocols
it's
dictate I
already an
initiate
hour.
your ship's self-destruct
I may have
sequence,
to edit this
thereby
down
forcing
a
you to
bit.
regenerate into
Okay,
a
so
new
you just
clone.
follow Aura's instructions.
Seems such a waste.
That's it.
This body is so fresh.
Because there's really nothing to do right now, you just follow Aura's instructions. You can look
I
at
see
other
that got
people's
your
shit
attention.
by simply
Now that you're conscious,
right
I must
click on
inform you that I
something
have
and, yeah.
both good and bad
Now
news.
you just use your camera to pan around, you just left click,
The bad news
drag,
is your ship's interface has been knocked offline by an
double clicking the
unidentified enemy
skybox
vessel.
that moves you
The
into
good
some
news
position.
is that I can help you fix it. I will focus on rebooting your systems while you try not to die.
Oh, and the entirety of the tutorial takes place within your
First,
starting system, but you must
almost
leave,
there.
for
Just
the
a bit
starting
more
system
data.
is really trash. Like, there's absolutely nothing to do other than literally what it says on the tin.
Now,
tutorial.
your engines are clearly running,
So,
but you should still test your
leave.
maneuvering thrusters. If your
now,
ship explodes,
Aurora
you'll
tells
know
you,
something
Aurora tells you to double click on the skybox, which will give you this align
Excellent.
thing,
Your ship has not exploded.
and that does
Yet.
makes your ship
This is
change
extremely
position.
fortunate,
And now
as I've managed to
we
bring
see
your info
one part of
panel
the UI,
online.
which is a tutorial.
I will update it with your current objectives. I'm receiving a distress signal from a nearby ship.
So next,
I suspect
Aura
you
will
were not
tell
the only
you,
one to fall afoul
please
of that
walk to this
unidentified
random
hostile.
location, and all you need to
Let's
do
walk to
is
the
don't
signal
do
source.
that. Don't activate the radio menu. There's really no need, unless you want to set your orbit speed. No, your orbit radius. And then you warp.
Warp
And it takes a
drive
while
active.
because there's a thing called align time. Don't expect warping
Stay
to be
sharp,
actually
Captain.
fast because some
I am not certain
ships
what we will
really have slow
encounter when we
acceleration
arrive.
or really can't turn. So align time matters when warping. And off you go. You now see the warp tunnel animation. Actually, also this brings out a note. You can actually walk through everything in this game, including stations. You can do a 180 and walk through a station. So now we arrive at the scene of a crime. These two red things will walk out. They are called enemies. Anything red is normally an enemy. As you go to all games.
We
So
were
we
too
just
far
see
away
a
to
ship
get here in
explode, and
time.
Aura tells us to approach
Target
it.
the wreck,
Just approach
and I
it
will scan
and
for
do as she
survivors.
says. Literally, if you can't read instructions, I don't know why you're playing this game.
My scanners are not detecting much.
So we are
Perhaps we
approaching
need to
this
get closer.
broken ship. It's a Concorde battleship. I don't know why
There
it's
do not appear to
broken,
be
but
any
then
survivors.
we're
How
dealing
unfortunate.
with seekers.
I will continue
Very
scanning the
powerful
area,
enemies.
but I am not
They normally
optimistic.
live in wormholes, but I don't know why they are here for a tutorial. So we just approach it, and we just Q click. You press your Q on the
My
keyboard
background
and click.
processes have
That is
reactivated
how you
your
approach.
ship's
And now we
overview,
see your overview.
so you can see what ships and structures
Honestly,
exist.
you can change your overview to
My
some
sensors
in-game
indicate a
preset that
hostile
the community
incoming.
has made, which
A
are way
circadian
better than
seeker
the
to be
movie starting
exact.
preset.
Lock your target
So
and prepare to fight.
now you gotta kill these things. Do not kill the
Target
battleship.
locked.
Kill the Guardian
I
Seeker.
have restored
Honestly,
access to
this
your
guy's
ship
weak AF.
interface,
You can literally
so you
just
can fire your
orbit
weapons.
it and let it play it out for 30 seconds and come back.
Leave your
redone.
weapon engaged
Nothing in the
until your
tutorial is meant to
target
kill
is
you.
destroyed.
That's why I say. So don't be scared of these enemies. But once you exit the tutorial system, be very scared of them because they are meant to kill you. Also, normally they are found in wormholes, so CCP, what are you doing? This is not a very good way to introduce people to the game. Saying that a frigate can actually take out a cruiser. That is a cruiser. And now there's a loot. If you guys have played World of Warcraft or any game, if you defeat a mob, that's a mob, right? It will drop loot.
Good riddance.
Now you just approach it
That
and
Circadian
open
Seeker
it.
was a drifter drone.
Scrap metal is not really that
You do
worth it,
remember
but
who
it
the
just gives
drifters
you
are, don't
tritium,
you?
which is valuable enough so you can actually sell on the market.
They
Oh,
are
you see
one of
that
the
yellow
few
thing there?
things all the
That's
empires
a
of New Eden
combat
agree
logout
on.
timer. It prevents you
They
from
are a
combat
threat
logging in this
to
game
us all.
because CCP really hates it. You can destroy Rex in this
Now,
game, but don't do
let's
it.
head home
It's a
before we
waste of
encounter
time.
any further trouble.
Because Rex are
We'll be
really
safe
tanky
once
for
we're
some
docked at a
reason.
station.
Now they say warp away, I stupidly tried to do this. Okay. That yellow timer is a combat log. Do not try to log out after you kill something. You'll stay in space for 15 minutes. It will eventually go away after 15 minutes. So the best way to log out in this game is always find a station. Never try to log out in space. It doesn't work. People will still find your
Warp
ship
drive
and kill
active.
you.
Warping commenced.
Now we walk to the
We will dock upon
our
arrival.
starting station. There's literally only one here. It's very easy to find. In fact, the UI is pretty clean. Just wait till you see until you go to a trade hub or something. It's called Jita 44. If you ever go there, feel the lag. So we arrive at our station. Honestly, this is all the same experience across the board for 4 empires. You start on a starting system where you just do this in a tiny Corvette, you think you're really powerful, but in reality you're only doing like 10 BPS. I've seen ships that go for 4-digit BPS in this game.
Docking request accepted.
And so we dock. Don't mind the advertisements, they are actually trying to recruit you. Just don't mind those ads, they are really annoying, I know. So we enter into this place. It's a station, and inside a station there are several facilities. Not all stations will have every facility.
During our warp, I
So
successfully
now we
reactivated your
are supposed
neocom.
to click on EdenCom,
need to
which
thank
is a
me.
hotbar,
I am far
essentially.
more- Speaking of
You
the
can resize the
neocom,
hotbar,
you can use it to
and
contact
there's such
Concord
thing as
as
this.
New Eden's
I really
impartial
don't
law
care.
enforcement agency.
And of course, I
Securing
did
peace in the
trade this
cluster is
character
their
during
primary
the
function.
event, so I got a bunch
I am
of stuff.
certain they will want to hear about these attacks.
And
You can
redeem the
contact them through the
station.
agency
And I'm
tab.
supposed to click on
in the
agency tab,
neocom.
but well, clearly I wasn't really following Aura's instructions, so let's go look through our inventory instead. Some of these things aren't really not really for industrialists. Light blue, those blueprints there, they're light blue, they're copies. They're not valuable. Original are valuable, the darker blue version, which you will yet to see. So here's the 7-part tutorial and
predicted,
activate
Concord
it.
is concerned
Let's give you
about the
some
Drifter
money
menace.
and we'll
They
be
have
on our
another
merry
task for us
way.
to handle.
This
Most
is the
importantly,
agency.
they're willing to pay
This is
for your
where you come to
services.
find tasks to do. And
Before
this
you
is your
depart,
character
you might
sheet,
want to
which I'm
examine
about to
the
open,
station services
and then
interface,
realize I
to
have
which I have just
10k
restored access.
points of
From there,
skill points. But there's a way to get more.
before you depart,
If you
might
come
want
to
to
this game
examine
with a
the
special
station
link, you
services
can get 1
interface,
month's
to
worth
which
of
I have
skill
just
points,
restored
or
access.
otherwise known as
From
1
there,
million
you will be
skill
able to
points,
utilize all
which you can
services
spend on
available in the
anything and
station.
get 1 month worth
Seems
of
rather
training
self-explanatory,
instantly.
doesn't it?
The link will of course be in the description down below, and be sure to check it out.
Prepare yourself, Captain.
If I even remember to
safe
put
now.
it. If not,
But once
you
you
really have to
undock,
find it through some
I
other
believe the
YouTubers
correct
doing EVE online
colloquialism
content.
is all bets are off.
So you can train a bunch of skills, which honestly don't need, because actually Aura will tell you to do it later, and I already spent spent my skill points. Which reminds me, I should actually check in today. But that will be for a later date, because I need to do a video about the career agents. That will be our next story in EVE, really. So as you can see, your character does only exist in there. Nothing much. And so now off we go to training a fuck ton of skills. Honestly, you can only fit up to 24 hours worth of skills if you're alpha account. In Omega, you can train up to 1 month worth of skills. Or actually it's an infinite amount of skills, really. You can put 3 years worth of skills in there if you want. So I should really have undocked at this point, but I'm just messing around with this. Really, there's no need. Because you also don't know what you're doing yet. I suggest this one way you can set up a character sheet, just don't touch it too much. This is the easiest way to understand. Anything that is blocked by yellow nodes means Omega account only, and anything that is gray means trainable. Anything that's blacked out gray means you haven't even bought the skill book yet. Anything that's a huge gray box means you haven't trained to that level yet. Anything that's white means you already trained to that level. So this is one way to understand the character sheet. It counts, it is all your skills in EVE really, and that's your UI. There needs to be this. You can enable readouts. You can disable all the passive modules so your UI doesn't look so shit. The center thing that's called capacitor, your health is just 3 bars. The overheat is those low, medium, high racks, which correspond to your low, medium, and high power slots, which honestly you get to see in a bit in this video, because they tell you, and that safety, normally you will set it to green, least you want to get Concord. But if you are a little bit like me, I just set it to yellow so I can actually steal from racks.
Concord was right.
Honestly, ninja looting is a great way to make money.
And look.
And now you guys control click and W click and activate those two things, and you can sit back and relax as 30-second battle commences. Honestly, it's not that much, and you only do like 10 DPS. So you know the drill. The entire tutorial is you just getting to know how to kill these things. So yeah, and also you can actually resize every one of these windows. In fact, this UI, the message, these things, these are your combat message. In fact, EVE is surprisingly playable with a black screen and everything because it's Pokemon. It's literally Pokemon. And here you get to see the info of the Guardian Seeker. As you can see, there's resist profiles. Don't care all that because they actually have no health. If they have no health, resist profile nothing, because
now that the Seeker has been reduced to scrap, let's see if we can find anything valuable in the wreckage.
So they tell you to go loot this thing. Honestly, you could loot it earlier. The loot mechanic is pretty easy, and all the tutorial rats don't drop anything good. They only drop metal scraps. In fact, you want to kill real rats, get out of the starting system and go to like nullsec, and they'll drop fantastic loot if you can survive it,
Captain.
Or if anyone lets you in.
So
I guess you can join a public alliance. No, correction, public corp in a big public alliance. But then again, the motto in EVE is trust no one. So we begin on part 2 of our tutorial.
You might want to check your wallet to confirm
yes, the wallet. This thing is pretty simple.
You can use
money
your
in,
wallet
money
to
out.
check your
It just tracks what the hell you spend it on and what the hell you got it from.
Money, Captain.
So honestly, you can also say that you can got it from scams. Yes. The different colors and the different colors in income and expense will tell you where your money has went and where your money has come from. So the best way to earn money for now, if you're starting out, is
Concord believes those seekers may have been transmitting data to a specific location. We should walk there immediately. Warp drive active.
Just keep following Aura's instruction. Honestly, that trick ain't much faster. So yeah, and also all of these are dead space. So meaning people can actually find you in these pockets of tutorial missions. In fact, it goes for any security missions. It exists off the grid of any known thing, and it does randomly spawn in. So yes, people can track you down with scanner probes if you didn't know, but at least the existential crisis that people can actually find you in them, even if you actually warp off to unknown space. So here we come find another combat site where we have these sentry turrets. Honestly, Aura does want you to kill them, so the fastest way is to activate your afterburner and burn in orbit, then let it play out.
But even the nearest
Honestly,
tower is still too far away. Lest you, when you are ready to engage the enemy, lock your target and fire.
I already talked continuously for apparently 13 minutes, and now we just simply follow the blue highlighted sentry turret. And this is not very boring either. They also drop nothing, so get it over as quick as possible. And of course, I think the audio is too loud, and you can change a lot of things in settings. In fact, you can go and view keybinds in the settings. So after messing with that, we'll finally be able to get chat, which you can actually make into a very small tiny box and forget about it because almost no one chats in local. So you watch the thing explode, and it's very pretty. I thank the VFX team. The VFX team is the best here. Look, nice and pretty
And now
explosion
for
for
the
all your
far
artwork
tower.
while pumping in like 30 hit points of damage. Now we rinse and repeat with the other thing, but apparently it can't hit us. Oh, and if you're a totally old player coming back to EvE, you can totally skip all of this by clicking that little off button right here next to Aura. Blah 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 this tutorial. Oh, you can actually move Aura. And now you discover the map because I got very bored. So you realize EvE is actually huge. And that this is one place that I aim to go to operate it. It's called Golden EvE. There's a reason it's based at relatively safe, not really a slow sec. But it does provide more opportunities than bloody high sec. I mean, unless you want to be AFK mining all day, this is not idling. There's a very anti-idle cis group in this game called Code. You can always type it in and read more about them. They literally have their own website. It's called minerpumping.com. And guess why? I don't. Yes, you realize it's huge. And so you close the map and go on your merry way, discovering that, hey, I already beaten the Tauren long time ago. And it explodes.
Well done, Captain.
Well
you
done,
may
Captain.
yet prove a worthy capsuleer.
So now we open
Since you're
character
safe for the
sheet, and I
moment,
just realized that skill they want is really the skill I'm training.
The more
so
skills you train,
of course,
the better your
I had to
chances of
remove
survival.
it and add it again.
Death can be such an inconvenience.
Yes.
Don't you agree?
Now I'm
Might
just
I
struggling
suggest
to
training your gunnery skills? You are a
add
decent
this
shot, but there is always room for
surgical
improvement.
strike because I'm retraining it.
The more skills you train, the better
Yeah,
your
true.
chances of
Training
survival.
skills does better your chance of
Might
survival.
I
In
suggest
fact,
training
it
your
grants as
gunnery
much as to
skills?
25%
You are a decent
bonus
shot,
to
but there is always
something,
room for improvement.
depending on what every level is. So we add the skill to our training list. This is why I say don't touch it because you screw it up. Because Aura will tell you to train something, and then when you're retraining it, she gets pissed. CCP, can you add a code that actually detects whether you're retraining it or not? So we go on a merry way, and we start the next part of the tutorial. It's already been 17 minutes of playing EvE. This video is an hour long.
Our work here is done
I
for
mean,
now.
there's really no concise way.
Though I am certain this is not the last we will hear
some
of the drifters.
explanation. So bloody hell, that took out a bit of time.
I've received a report that some warp drive
I need to
active.
cut that. So we close the character sheet and continue on our way. I may have accidentally extended the runtime of this by pausing the video. So next part. Really don't care about the rewards right now because this amount is very little. Cleaning another combat mission, so honestly I should just make this a time lapse, but then I wouldn't have any time to explain anything. Then again, there's just combat, so you click align to warp, and apparently there's no chat yet for some reason. I'm trying to open it. You can add random channels, so yeah. In fact, there's a lot of channels in EvE, so you can add a lot.
The source of the
You
interference
need
is
biology
nearby.
to get
Drink
these
this seeker.
potions. Yes, but
There's
inside
only
got
one way to find out.
cybernetics instead, so
Eliminate it.
go figure. Cybernetics does add passive, pretty permanent unless you die implants that actually boost certain skills. So for example, I know there's like implant that gives you 5% more damage, which is quite a lot considering that you have other skills, so you can have a stack of like 30+% bonus to damage. And I have no idea what I'm doing, so we show full body and I just realized that this is not a character I created, so yes. this thing has been sitting here for at least a week, and now apparently CCP decides to give you a bio for some
Hostile
reason.
inbound. I am positive that this ship is carrying the scrambling device.
Beyond this is boring,
Destroy
and a
it
lot of
to
these are
take out
dead
the
space
jammer.
enemies. So there's another Guardian Seeker, it's a cruiser-sized ship, and I can defeat it with a corvette, which is the weakest bloody ship in the game. I don't know what makes CCP think that you can actually use a corvette in IRL to actually defeat cruisers, because if you want to defeat a cruiser, you must use another cruiser. And this brings me to defeating these guys and opening up the ship tree. Yeah, they're pretty weak. They only have like 40 hit points and no resistance. So you don't need to go cycle it around 10 times. Oh, and I so kindly to mention that anything named civilian is shit, and the weapons you receive on your corvette when you first start out is shit. It does very little damage, and it doesn't use any ammo of any kind. Even if it's a laser, it doesn't accept laser crystals. Lasers need laser crystals to work. Guns need bullets to work. They are called
Communications in this
shells,
sector are back
charges,
online. Good
In fact,
work, Captain.
there's ammo in this game. So if you're running drones, you might need to buy more drones in the future, because drones can be shot down in this game. Some high-level rats actually can shoot down drones. So yes, in this game it's very unforgiving, and when you want to do exploration, you get scanning probes. So, and that's scan strength to deal with. So yeah, this game gets complicated real fast. You just realize, yay, we have chat now. So now I'm just going to immediately make it very small.
You should take this opportunity to let Concord know that you are excelling at doing their
while
job
we
for
approach
them.
and loot to get very worthless items. So yeah, 21 minutes and 36 minutes here, another 20 minutes for commentary. So what the hell's going on with my life? I have to export this to my computer, and I'll be done recording this by around 9:30. So that's some time for lesson. So we accept, and we have 3 more quests on our way. So we turn everything very small, do the setting with one photo. I did those, so that I'm more visible. I know when the message was sent, and I can also delete everyone. And yeah, this is actually a pretty safe way
Our work has not
of
escaped
doing
the Drifter's
things for now,
notice.
because I'm the Dora system. Honestly, in EvE has very useless people. If you stay still in one place for too long, in low or null side, expect a bunch of catalysts to come find you. And thus we leave. And now we get to upgrade our ship. This is where I introduce you to the ship fitting window, where you get to see all the high, low, and medium slots of your ship. You have the rig slots.
My data.
So
You know the drill,
yeah,
Captain. Or at least you should
you
by
can
now.
randomly open people's bio. So warp animation's cool and all. So we must defeat this guy. Yeah, that spatial rift really leads to nowhere. It doesn't really have thing. So Skybox looks pretty, huh? Another thing I might have to forget to mention, there's like 4 different colored skybox in this game. One for each empire, with a yellow nebulae, a red nebulae, a blue nebulae, and a green nebulae. So this is spatial rift. You can just keep staring at it because your ship will nothing approach and engage this. So yeah, this is how it looks like. Pretty insectoid, right?
Well done.
After this, you gain some ammo and some better,
you should
but
dock at a station.
still as weak
It's time to
guns.
upgrade your ship.
So we just shoot them finish, and now what am I trying to do? Opening up a ship tree? Yeah, I think so. I have no idea why it does open. Ignore that. 39, 40, 10 more minutes. Honestly, this game is very in-depth. The starting guide is already 50 minutes long for most cases, and I think I'm no different, but thank God I can manage to squeeze my gameplay into 37 minutes. The rest are just ads, really. You can skip the front 15 minutes of this video, and it will be fine. And I managed to pull out combat logs. This is where you can read your message better, I guess? Because in a war zone, your messages can flash really quickly, and you have no idea who is damaging who, what gun they're using, or yeah, whatever. So play around the settings if you want to keep the combat logs on. Honestly, I don't think it's worth it, because unless you are really playing EvE in a player versus player capacity, really no point. So with like 13 minutes left on the clock, we leave for another system. Actually, we leave for the next part of our journey, which is to go back into our station and retrofit our ship. Okay, this is where you mustn't cry about losing your civilian parts, because they're actually utterly worthless. Like, no one buys them, they're worthless. They don't sell for much.
Active. Warping commenced.
Yeah, nice.
We will dock upon arrival.
Brings me to, I need to edit this over or something. So with that out of the way, you can place this however you want by eventually just quit and cancel that window.
Warping commenced. We will dock upon...
Warping for another time.
Docking permission requested.
Docking request accepted. Very annoying because I know this shit. I've been through this shit. But this is a guide, so yeah. Now we come back to the station and realize that our overview is top 4 shit, which honestly can keep removable. Those yellow containers, by the way, don't steal them. They actually have password. You can't steal anything from them. If they were normal cargo containers, you could. So we now claim our rewards, and we must fit our ship. This is pretty easy. High slot to high slot, mid slot to mid slot, low slot to low slot.
To equip these new weapons.
Yeah, high slots are normally weapons, mid slots
You'll need a fresh set of weapons if you have any hope of thriving in New Eden.
Extra speed,
the next enemy you face might not be as gentle as those seekers.
Slow and stop people and stop people from warping away by jamming their...
Your new turrets will not do you any good without ammo.
And low slots are normally
Honestly, Captain, I sometimes wonder how you ever survived without me.
Weapons on high slots. A combat has no rig slots, but there are other ships like rig slots. And rig slots actually provide pretty permanent boosts to your ships. Oh yeah, and grouping weapons. They are must, especially for Alpha Strike. Where when you press the F1 button, all your guns can fire at once instead of going through click, 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 click. Instead of clicking on each high slot module. Like, I can only imagine a destroyer. You have 8 guns. You're going to click through all 8 guns to get them to fire. No, the better way is to group them all. So when I press F1, they all fire, and it's fun. Unless you somehow intend to use different ammo for each gun, and like, why? Why would anyone do that? It's very cursed. So after that, we proceed to undock and finish up the last combat quest. We see some people here leaving. One of them is in a fucking Reaper. No.
Let's move along, shall we?
Yeah. I have no idea what I'm doing. Stop opening that. Yes. Now we must activate that and warp. And you can actually click and drag this. You can assign them different shortcuts on your side of the screen here when you move them around. So we move, get the tutorial, claim our reward, and then off to battle we go, where you get like 1/10 of a million.
I will work on bringing your remaining systems back online.
And for some reason, my camera ain't working all of a sudden, and then now it's working for some reason. So we walk away, and I managed to get info on the retrieval. It's an Omega mining barge, which you can use unless you're Omega. Oh, and did I mention that CCP has been making money off skins? So yes, you can view ships.
I do believe an exercise of this nature is called a trial by fire.
So which
How
brings me to ship
delightfully
tree.
archaic.
Doesn't get wet, really. It's really erotic. You see, there's so many ships to fly, and some of them are better than your Corvette. So you know the drill now. This is basically another combat mission. So we warp and we shoot everything inside with our upgraded DPS. Now it's probably like 15 DPS. Application stop. And now we start shooting at the turrets. We start shooting at another turret. Start shooting at this turret, then we start shooting at another turret, and then we
Hold steady, Captain. There are more
defeat a
enemies
lot
en
of
route.
frigates in quick succession, I believe. Let's see what the video says. Yeah, shooting the turret. It's like 37 minutes long gameplay. Yeah, the first part of gameplay for EvE is really 37 minutes long. So once you've done all that, 3 frigates walk in, don't be scared, they really can't attack you all simultaneously and only do 1 DPS because it's scripted. And so after this, we have to go and walk to station 3 systems away, where your ship can't actually do that long of a jump. So we use something called Stargates. In fact, you will see it pretty soon. You see all those little rounded squares with arrows there, they are called Stargates. And this is what you use to transfer between systems. So yes. EvE is complicated like that. Each system is connected by a Stargate, and Stargates can be closed for no reason. Or camped. Even worse, camped. In some popular bottleneck systems, there you see a lot of battle cruisers like the Tornado, and they'll just be sitting down the gate. Under their watchful gaze, they will see any fat whales passing by and they will start hunting. And so there's actually too many wrecks to loot. If not, this video would actually be way longer because we actually keep on taking in a lot of the scraps. So there's really no point because the scraps are pointless. And now we must think, oh wow, Zachary, our Corvette must be really tanky. No, stop using a Corvette. Sorry for the interruption, but the drill is as follows. You just defeat this guy, claim your reward, and we can go already.
I am most pleased
so
that you
I don't need
survived
to
that
commentate
battle,
for much longer, I guess, because
I am also
as soon as
pleased
the
to
last ship
report that the remaining
explodes, you don't
systems
need to
are back
really
online.
do anything. It's all metal scraps. I mean, you gain more money, but what's the point? Honestly, your aims haven't seen my full UI layout
It's time for
yet,
you
so
to
for
spread
now,
your
this is
wings,
my UI
Captain.
layout.
There are many profitable career paths available in New Eden.
Auras, please,
To
and
help you
unlock
get
the
started,
rest of
you
the
should visit
fucking
one of the
UI.
career
Now you
agents.
get to see where actually you are in and whose territory you are in. So you claim a 1/10 of a million prize, and now you have to walk to a system 3 jumps away, ignore everyone, just keep following the yellow brick road, and you'll be fine. So I loot one ship, I loot another, and I didn't loot all. And so that conclude our adventures today. We discovered EvE and we shot a bunch of fucking
The distance to the agent
enemies
is too far
that
for
are
the warp
supposed to
drive
be
on
way
your
more
ship.
powerful than us,
We
but
will have to
aren't
use
for some
stargates
reason.
to jump
Thanks a
between
lot
solar
CCP
systems.
for giving the wrong impression to noobs. Oh, correction, I actually looted everything. Go me, I'm actually that greedy. even though the cargo value in there barely breaks actually any value.
Active.
It's like only 50 is
Warping to
50 on the
Stargate.
disk.
We will jump through upon
So
arrival.
we walk away from here and commence our journey to whatever how you pronounce that. Honestly, all the systems name in EVE are pretty unpronounceable. So we hit the 50-minute mark on our video. Yeah, it's self-aware. So, who would like to join my adventure in EVE? Don't forget to use the link in the description. It grants you 1 million skill points and 1 month worth of training time. So we just warp and arrive in our station, and just cut the video before I arrive. That's it.
We're making
Thank
decent
you all for
progress.
watching. Now just
Keep
watch
jumping through
the rest of the
Stargates
video in
until you
silence
reach your
because I'll
destination.
be just doing this all day. Okay, thanks, bye.
Warp drive active. Nearly there. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warping commenced. We will dock upon arrival.